What's he like in the dugout? You're in the dugout
Yeah,
of the
I
game?
am.
I mean,
Yeah, he's all over the place. He's, cheering for everybody and, wishing the best for everybody and pulling for everybody and, he's good. He's good.
do you think he helps the young kids who are kind of nervous or sets it in?
I think everybody laughs at him a little bit too, so that helps.
Yeah.
Breaks up the stress when he says something, and you just laugh and just enjoy it.
Yeah. Are there any, do you remember him, when spending any time with him celebrating the World Series in Houston, like right after the game? And do you remember his reactions or anything like that?
Yeah, he was very happy. He was hauling ass out there. Usually the first guy out on the field after a win, call him top step.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then he was out there, and I remember, we embraced and hugged because we were both pretty happy to, be able to bring a world championship to Chicago. That was very special for him and I because we'd been here both a long time, But, yeah, we just embraced, and then we moved on to embrace somebody else.
Yeah, right, yeah. Now, are you from Chicago?
No, I came from the Yankees here.
Okay.
And he pitched a little bit for the Yankees too, I think.
Yeah.
So we never overlapped over there at all.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Rochester, New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some of his best stories were that Rochester, New York team where he slept in the clubhouse for a whole
I don't
summer.
know any of those.
Yeah, right.
That's where I hailed from there. I grew up there.
You see a lot of different kinds. I mean, over the years, you've seen thousands of different kinds of guys. Where would you put Kevin in those? Like you've got the
Free spirit.
Yeah.
Happy, hardworking, dedicated to his job.
Yeah.
To his job. Works diligently at and very giving because he wants to always, can't help you enough. He always helps me out if I need something. I say, Hick, will you run in and get this for me? Hick, will you do this for me? And he's, always happy to do it. So I'm grateful to have him.
Yeah, I was talking to Vinny, clubhouse manager, and he was saying, the other teams that always ask, is Hickey still with you because he's the biggest pain in the major leagues?
I've heard that myself.
And Hickey says, well, that's because I'm always doing stuff for her.
Is that what he
That's
said?
what he's saying. Yeah. It's like I'm always asking for stuff for her. That's why. Yeah, so it's pretty funny. Now he talks about if he would have been smarter, he probably could have played longer, but he didn't like to go to the training room back then because he didn't. I don't know. It's probably some of this South Side upbringing. He wanted to tough through it. And he said there were a bunch of guys who would see, they knew how many ceiling tiles. His line is, they had a bunch of guys know how many ceiling tiles are on there, and I didn't want anybody to know. And
Yeah, I mean that could be true.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much I had to deal with him health-wise.
Yeah.
I don't think it was very much though.
No, he was saying that he rarely, and that's probably. He said that was his downfall.
Yeah, I don't know what his downfall really was, why he didn't pitch longer. I don't know if it was health reasons or he just couldn't get him out anymore.
No, it was health. He had that shoulder. He said he had calcium buildup on his shoulder.
Yeah, but I mean, he's doing pretty good now. Ooh.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty good now with the same shoulder. So.
Yeah, right.
And he throws more now than he did when he was pitching.
Right. So. Yeah. So is there How do you handle pitchers differently in your job from back then and now?
Just hold them a little bit, probably a little bit more accountable for their shoulder work.
Yeah.
You can't reinvent the wheel. You just reinvent the products that you make the wheel with.
Yeah.
But the wheel is the wheel. Same with shoulders. A shoulder, our shoulders are the same now as they were 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just how you work them and how you treat them and what you get guys to do to prehab them versus rehab them.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And I mean, do you have a favorite Kevin Hickey story?
God,
The one that you could only tell in the locker room?
I don't know. There's so many, I can't even think of them, you know? But I'll think about it, I'll try to get you one.
Okay.
Because
What about, you know, just the idea that when Kevin and I talk, we talk about his family life and about how, you know, he always wanted his father to show him that he was proud of him more, loved him more. And basically when he left for Paintsville, Kentucky in '77 after the tryout, baseball and the White Sox, you know, become second family. And I was wondering do you see him, you know, do you see in him that need for this kind of baseball family?
Oh, he needs this environment around him. You know, he thrives on that, you know. And now he's got a new woman in his life.
Yeah.
Did he tell you about her?
Yeah, and Coop said he's always busting his chops to marry her, but
Yeah, I do too.
Really?
When you're gonna marry her? When you're gonna marry her? I think he's a little gun shy of that.
It's one of the, he's such a tough guy, right? You know, and he's such a tough guy. When he talks about it, it's like the first divorce. That was like I was a young kid, and the second one was really, you know, he said the reason he stayed living in Ohio was because he thought maybe she would come back, you know, and
She didn't.
No, and especially after he beat up her boyfriend, you know, pulling his shirt over his head on her mother's front lawn.
Like a hockey player.
Yeah, like a hockey player.
And he likes hockey too.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he get along with guys like, you know, that are like Fisk and all those guys?
I think he got along great with him. Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to get along with Kevin.
Yeah.
It's hard. He's just a good old boy, you know.
What are some things that you think that absolutely have to come across in whatever we produce for this
His
thing?
personality.
Yeah.
His toughness, his Irish heritage. Um, you know, just his demeanor, you know, type thing, you know. That's what needs to come across, what
Yeah.
kind of guy is, and how loving a guy he is too, you know. So he's kind of got a nice little blend going, you know.
Because he made it, you know, he came from softball to a tryout to the big leagues. You know, he always said, Tony La Russa told him, you know, always keep an edge, and it seems like he took that to an extreme.
Tony La Russa is all about edges. That's all he ever talks about is
Yeah.
edges. You know, I was a big edge to Tony because I could keep guys healthy. You know, what did that equal to? Well, maybe 5 extra wins a year. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, that's edges. Yeah, he learned that from La Russa probably.
Yeah.
You know.
I think, who was it was telling me, somebody yesterday was talking about La Russa. Oh, it was Roland Heeman was telling me that, you know, what La Russa really liked Kevin because he was the way he did his business,
Sure.
the way he worked. But he said that La Russa also found Kevin to be a kindred spirit. Like, you know, a lot of these guys go to college and they sign big contracts or whatever, and, you know, they expect to be treated like Kevin was just a guy who came out and
Street guy.
Street guy.
Yeah.
Is there still a place for a guy like Kevin in baseball? Or
Oh, I think there is.
Really?
I think there always will be.
Why?
Well, because they're the guys you want to be in the trenches with, the foxholes. You know, you want to be in a foxhole with Kevin, because he'll never leave. He'll never. You know how they say Marines never leave anybody behind.
Yeah.
Kevin will never leave anybody behind. You know, he's a foxhole guy. He's the guy you want on your right or your left when you're struggling. He'll help you. He'll do whatever he can to help you. And that, you know, you don't learn that. That's inherited. That's, you know, an inherited
You think
thing.
that's south side of Chicago? That's neighborhood stuff.
Yeah, that's neighborhood stuff. You know.
Is there anything else I'm missing that you know?
Not that I could think of, but you know, I'll certainly
Okay.
keep it in mind and
Yeah, I'll be working on this. You know, probably for a
here's
while.
a quick little story. Just I think it was last year or the year before. We're leaving in Kansas City, going to the ballpark, and it's myself, Coop, my assistant, and Hick. And this guy, we're driving because I get a rental car and we're driving, and I can't remember. You'll have to ask Kevin this story because he'll remember it too. Guy either cuts me off or comes up next to me and kind of giving me a hard time or something. Kevin opens the window, he's crawling out of the window, yelling at the guy that, I'll pull your heart out of your body or something like that if you keep fucking around. So ask him about that, because that's just kind of tells you what kind of guy he is.
He was defending you.
He was defending me.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of one of his left hooks.
Yeah, no, he's a strong guy.
He's a strong guy.
He's a strong guy, yeah.
All right.
Hope that was helpful.
It was. I appreciate your time. I know
You
you're
got
busy.
it.
Let me give you some business cards in case
Be great.
you run into somebody else, and then you can just pass them around. And then, do you do email or anything like that?
I do.
Because maybe that'd be like if I wanted to ask you a question or something, I could just send it. You're busy. I can
I'll give
send
you
it
my
that
card.
way. Okay, great.
Somebody.
Oh, one of the guys I'm looking for is.
Have you talked to Ed Farmer at all?
Yeah, I talked to Ed. Ed's got that great Steve Trout walking out of the bullpen story.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to Dotson last night, and Joel Skinner.
He's here.
He's here. If you happen to see him,
Yeah.
today's my last day.
Yeah, he's probably out on the field.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out there and try to catch him.
If nothing else, give him one of your cards and tell
Yeah.
him, you want to talk to him about Hickey.
Yeah,